a conflagration of meaning comes to the fore in the verses discussing how Moses separates from the people of Israel as they enter the land of Israel. And it is told that Moses is not allowed to enter the land because of a happening over the waters of dispute, where Moses was supposed to speak to the rock and let it give forth its water. But instead of speaking, he hit the rock twice. And because of this, he was deemed unworthy of entering the land of Israel. The idea of speaking to a rock seems so distant that a rock would give forth water. And today, it seems so possible, so doable, in many ways, in many interpretive and original ways. Speaking to the rock 3,000 years ago might sound arcane and impossible. But today, every item in the world will have a software that speaks to it, that informs it, that gives it direction. The entire structure of our modern world is on instructions given in software, a form of speech and writing and code, which language is. The victory of the linguists, of Moses, the heavy-tongued linguist, who probably invented the Hebrew script from Proto-Canaanite, which was found in the Sinai desert. If not inventing it, certainly used it and certainly developed the entire concept of God and the mutability of God in grammar, and therefore the mutability of reality and the adaptability of reality and the organizing of reality in a new way according to this grammatic system. Drawing parallels from that into how one interacts with the modern world and how one speaks to bureaucracies and how one speaks to the rock, how one can imagine that anything can come from organizations, non-organic materials, but speaking and creating a language, a peaceful formulas of sentences between humanity and between rocks, that the rocks should pour forth their water, that the entities, bureaucracies should assist and engage humanity in a voluntary way, not through striking. The entire analogy and the parable is so wonderful for an ancient piece that these things can and need to be achieved through speech, through eking out the linguistic structure and the imperative towards personalized, towards specific requirements of humanity, of individual humanities and their wants and their hopes. The guiding around the specificity of humanity, of individuals, of the imagination, of the identity, and these individuals around their own hubs of creativity. That is the source and the structure of a Mosaic political vision. And in the tradition of the biblical editors, Moses comes out as such a conflicted person. On one hand, achieving so much, being heavy at speech and being a person of words and sentences in so many ways and being a man of God, but failing to speak to the rock. And because of that failure and because of the necessity of a transition, the great transition from striking to speaking, and the ability to correct the anti-Moses of this situation, to correct Moses's striking, and to be able to speak and to create a revolution through algorithms of sentences, to be able to harness the power of government for the welfare of entire humanity, where government and the shared resources that we have as humanity come to rally every individual and to support them. And of course, the great lesson from the legacy of Moses as he looks over Mount Nebo is that in many ways we today can all be Moses. We today have great tools. We behold great miracles and acts and before us, and we can be brave and go out of our own wilderness into our own promised lands, and to look into an incredible future and to guide the course of an incredible life through words and sentences and imagination and actions, as the last blessings of Moses attest.